Everybody, Dan here. I want to review last week's exercise, the Pakistani prunes. I think I can do this really very briefly because right beneath this link, you will see examples from your classmates who really hit this exercise out of the park. So please read their answers. I've highlighted them to make it easy for you. The first question was, do you agree or disagree? Interests are the tip of the iceberg, positions are below the waterline. Well, chapter 3 in Getting to Yes is all about interests and positions. The answer is you disagree because positions are what we see and hear. Positions are the tip of the iceberg. Interests are generally unrevealed, and our job in a negotiation is to get at the interests. Well, how do we do that? Question 2. Why might it be a good idea sometimes to lay our cards on the table? Lewicki talks about this, Getting to Yes talks about this, and really in a general tone, much of the reading and the YouTube links on active listening refer to this. We are searching for a win-win solution. That means we've got to find out their interests, but it also means they have to find out our interests. How does this happen? Unless we lay some cards on the table, unless we share our interests. So we have to be a little cautious until we, develop some kind of trust in our counterpart. In other words, they have to reciprocate and share some of their cards, and that leads us to question 3. How might you use the norm of reciprocity in your conversation with Dr. Kim? Well, Lewicki talks about this, so does Getting to Yes. The norm of reciprocity refers to sharing that little bit of information in the hope that the other side will answer in kind. So why not tell Dr. Kim how you plan to use the prunes? How does that hurt? And if he is listening, now he's got to be actively listening too, that would open the door to a win-win solution. How might you phrase a question to discover his interest? Well, you'll see in the samples below this link, the sample questions from some of the students who did an excellent job. There's a lot of ways to ask this question, but you could simply ask, can you please explain your process, Dr. Kim? I'm really interested in learning what you actually do with the prunes. Now, he actually does this in question 5. I had to shorten the question because it was so long, but he has explained his process to you. I agree. He explains it in the context of a lot of language, a lot of verbiage, but I wanted to give you all of that to give you a realistic depiction of the kinds of stuff we hear in negotiations. No one is going to very clearly give you their interests. We have to search through all the language to find them, and that's what active listening is. The first thing he tells us is that he's had difficulty transplanting his trees. Well, does that ring a bell? If you read your role play information carefully, you would discover that this is your expertise. This is what you're working on, a soil additive to make this possible. Yeah, it's a little bit in the future, but maybe you're the only one working on it. You are the authorities on this. You can offer him a great deal of help in this respect. And then Dr. Kim reveals the biggie. He uses the pulp. He uses the fruit of the prunes. And, of course, you use the pit. In this asynchronous kind of environment, we really can't listen to each other. So you have to read carefully all of these assignments and listen carefully to the webcast and the YouTube links. If you read your role play very carefully, you would know your interests. Really, you probably wouldn't hurt to write them down before you even talk to Dr. Kim. By that I mean read Dr. Kim's interests. And active reading is like active listening. When you read Dr. Kim's interests, it wouldn't have been a bad idea to take notes, to highlight, to write down your understanding of what it is he is after. Because if you had, and 4 or 5 students did this, I'm assuming they did this, or else they're very good casual readers. If you had done this, you would have discovered his 2 main interests. He's had trouble transplanting the trees. He uses the pulp. Presumably, he throws away the pits. And that's exactly what you want. So you're arm wrestling over nothing. There is no conflict here. This is an obvious win-win partnership. So active listening means active reading. And of course, it means active listening to some of the web links where you are actually listening. So please bear this in mind, not only for this week's exercise, but for all of them. Again, I'm going to keep this short. Let's just go, after this, let's go to the link below and read the answers, which I've highlighted from your classmates. They're really good. They do a great job. All right, thanks so much. Bye-bye.